Managing your mental health and physical well-being obviously can be tough, and in many cases it can be a challenge to find the right support and activities to keep us motivated and engaged. Thankfully, here in Cornwall, we have an amazing social prescribing program that's available through your GP. To tell us more about, please welcome KL's very own Carol-ann Beaton. Hello, Carol.
Hello.
Lovely to see your face again. It's great. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm back, and you guys are back, and we've got somebody new. Ross, hello.
Yes.
I know, right?
Fresh meat. Or fresh blood, I should
Yes,
say.
we like fresh meat.
He's not quite worked out how it's going to end yet, but he
No.
soon will. He soon will.
Still here.
It's lovely to have you on, Carol. How have you been? How are things going with you?
Yeah, things are going really well, really busy with the social prescribing service as we deal with. We're coming out of lockdown as well. So, yeah, going great. Just keep at it and keep making people happy, I suppose, is our main goal.
Of course. It's great, obviously, to have you back on KLTV. For those people who may not be familiar with the term social prescribing, what is it?
Yeah, so social prescribing is a free, confidential, non-clinical service which provides information and support to individuals by linking them to services within their community. So the Department of Health have recognised that people's health and well-being are mainly determined by a range of factors like social, economical, environmental. So with our service, we seek to address those needs in a more holistic way. We're not medically trained or counsellors or anything, but what we can do is refer to those services if they need to.
Brilliant. So would you say, is that what makes you guys different from the other forms of support? Is it that holistic approach?
Yeah, so what makes us different is we understand that time is very limited with GPs and other healthcare professionals. As we all know, the service is very stretched, so therefore they may not have that capacity to delve into more than one concern with a patient. So, for example, if a patient went to their GP for support with their mental well-being and touched upon this could be a possible factor to an underlying, facing homelessness or perhaps in financial arrears, our service has the time and capacity to explore those underlying issues and offer some advice and support by connecting them to services which may be able to help better their situation overall. So normally we would see patients face to face at the doctor's surgery, but due to the pandemic, we had to quickly adapt and provide different support in other ways, which we have found has worked better for other people. So we can see people in their GP practice if they do wish, or via telephone, or we do offer video calls too now. So we can adapt to that as well.
That's really lovely. It's nice to have some more sort of options for people because mental health is it's so wide and vast.
Yeah.
Any kind of help anywhere. And it's brilliant to hear the kind of stuff that you're doing. Talking of which, could you tell us more about your role specifically and what part you play in the referral process?
Yes. So generally, our referrals, come through the professional working in the primary sector, so like GPs, nurses, occupational therapists. So we would receive a referral and then contact a patient and book them in for initial appointment, which could take up to about an hour depending on the complexity of the patient's need. And then after that, we found resources, signpost or refer to appropriate services, which then could hopefully help the patient. And then we catch up with them in 6 weeks' time to see how things are going and if there's anything else we can help with. And we can see a patient for up to 6 months if we need to. So we're quite a vast service to help them.
Sounds brilliant. And what would you say, Carol-ann, is your favourite part of your job?
Oh, there's lots.
It's the right answer.
I think that there is many, because obviously we wouldn't be in this job if we didn't have a passion for helping people. But I think for me is connecting with a patient and seeing how much of a negative impact their current situation is having on their well-being, and then witnessing this transformation as their circumstances gradually evolved. So with a little signposting and support from us, generally people feel a sense of pride that they have been able to self-manage their own situation with the outcomes they want to achieve. So our service is a personal approach. We don't push individuals to do or engage in something that they are not comfortable with. And because we take their lead and help them achieve their goal, and their situation is very sensitive to them. So we just find out what's important to them and help them with that.
That's lovely, a very personalised approach. And well, I mean, if you try and force somebody into doing something that they're not comfortable with, it's almost like a backwards.
Exactly.
They're going to be pushed back. I've just got to take a moment and just pause because Carol-ann, it feels very weird me being this side, you being that side. I don't feel it. It feels very strange to be interviewing you rather than seeing you in the studio. Just want to put that out there.
Can you tell I'm trying to be so professional right now?
You're doing a great job at it, to be fair.
I've got my phone voice on and ready.
Fantastic. Going back obviously to things, there's obviously the word prescribed. Obviously, you think about the tablets and things like you get prescribed something, you feel like you've been given some kind of officiality to it, and it's been recognised almost. So how does being prescribed a resource like this from the doctor help people?
So we look at their social factor. So the programme has access to a wide range of support to suit the individual needs within their community. So for anything that's non-medical, so for example, debt, financial advice, benefits support, housing concerns, healthier lifestyles and getting active, like walking buddy groups that we have, sports programs, nutritional advice, active living support and carers, general wellbeing support like arts and craft groups, cooking groups, coffee mornings. We have a lovely telephone befriending service, which has been really beneficial throughout lockdown. So you name it, we'll find a social way to help and connect that particular patient to what they need and within their community.
That just blew my mind. I didn't quite think about how many sort of options you've got out there for
That's
that.
incredible. So many, like you said, so many different resources that you can refer people to. That's brilliant. Obviously, earlier on in our chat, you mentioned briefly about how you've had to change things slightly over the past year because of the pandemic. Can you tell us a bit more about, how it has affected people's well-being?
Yeah, I think, we've never had to be in this particular pandemic before or be in a lockdown before. So it's very alien and new to everyone, really. But I think with anything, there is a positive and negative side. And we have found that the negative side of people having to stay indoors and potentially made people become more socially isolated or anxious or worried if they've lost their job or financial constraints. And in due course, these elements are essentially affecting their mental well-being long term. But the positive side that we've seen, I think this has given people a time and a chance to look internally and to become more conscious of their well-being and deciding to take that positive step. So I'm seeing more and more people coming forward and wanting to find ways of engaging with their community. And like I say, making that positive change for their current situation. And that's essentially been really empowering for some individuals who's come forward and got some support. As like you say, they don't know what's out there. And we're here to, help to find that and bring that forward to them.
Brilliant stuff. Staying along the lines of the pandemic, has it affected how you guys have been working as well? And has it affected your sort of ability to help other people?
So, long story short, no, we're always there. So obviously our face-to-face consultations had to end, but that's why I said we've offered telephone calls, video calls, and more people found that beneficial because they could do it in the comfort of their own home. They didn't have to travel to their GP surgery and make sure they're there for that appointment. Of course, a lot of services in the community did have to stop, but about 97% went online. So you had this transition of getting people to, still engage online through the internet. And we were able to even help people get internet in their homes when they didn't have internet before, or they were, considered socially isolated if they lived in a remote area. So that's also something that's been really beneficial. We've able to set that avenue for somebody who would have been socially isolated if it wasn't for the services.
Absolutely. And what would you say, so for anyone who's maybe watching or listening today and thinking about reaching out, what advice or top tips would you give to them?
So I would stress that if you have any concern that is non-medical or something that you may think is a contributing factor and you are in need of some advice or support, or even if you would just like to find out what's going on in your area that may be able to help you, contact your local GP practice and ask if there is a social prescribing link worker in your area. I cover Truro area, and there's many out there that covers, all of Cornwall, all of England, and just ask for a referral. So this is a free one-to-one confidential service, like I mentioned, but you can also find out how our services can help via our website. So it's socialprescribingcornwall.org.uk.
Lovely job. Lovely stuff. I must admit, I could have done with some. You talked about getting people connected up. There's a lot of places, obviously, in Cornwall that, when it comes to the internet, while there's a lot of talk in the media, especially recent last few days, has been, I think it's 110,000 more places in Cornwall now are going to be increased to the next level of 5, but I can't remember exactly without reading it. There's a lot of places out there, isn't there, that's so rural or just single houses that certain networks just go, no, it's not worth it, and so they get sort of left behind. I'll tell you something, could have done with some help a little while ago myself, but it's lovely to see that you've got that ability to get people connected up where they can't be connected, because it's so helpful having that almost like that lifeline out there, isn't it?
It's very important that every individual in the community has the same level of support and help. No matter what that is, everyone should be able to, access community projects safely and, enjoy that process and be not socially isolated. So that's very important to us.
Brilliant stuff.
So important.
Carol-ann, it's been lovely to have you on the show. It's been lovely to catch up with you. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. It sounds like you're doing really, really brilliant stuff. Have a really good day, and we'll catch you soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.